Just days earlier, she survived the Battle of the Coral Sea, the first carrier duel in history, and took a 500-pound bomb to her flight deck.
Fire in the hangar. Move it! Bring that light!
The deck is a splintered maze of steel and flame, the air thick with smoke.
Admiral Nimitz was told, "She'll need 90 days to repair." He replied, "You have 72 hours." The fate of the Pacific hung in the balance.
Over 1,400 shipyard workers swarmed the Yorktown, welding, hammering, rewiring, working around the clock in sweltering heat.
Easy with it! Steady now!
Every hour counted.
They patch her hull with concrete jury rig elevators and rebuild her flight deck, all while oil still leaks from her wounds.
Miraculously, in just 48 hours, Yorktown is declared seaworthy. She sails on May 30th, still smoking, still scarred, but ready for battle.
Unbeknownst to Japan, U.S. codebreakers have cracked their plans. The enemy is coming to Midway Atoll with 4 fleet carriers.
They're coming.
But Yorktown joins them. Now it's 3 against 4. Not fair, but fightable.
Task Force 17 on station.
On June 4th, 1942, dawn over Midway. Japanese bombers strike the island, but miss the real prize, still hidden.
American scout planes search desperately. Then, Lieutenant McCluskey spots a lone Japanese destroyer and follows it straight to the enemy fleet.
Bearing 240.
Yorktown launches her air wing, 35 planes racing toward death or destiny.
Godspeed, boys.
Dauntlesses and Devastators climb into the afternoon light, the patched deck falling away.
But the 4th carrier, Hiryu, strikes back and finds Yorktown.
General quarters! General quarters!
Japanese Val dive bombers scream out of the sun, their bombs aimed squarely at the battered.
2 bombs hit her flight deck. A third smashes into her funnel, fires rage. She lists, but doesn't sink.
Seal off compartment B!
Below, damage control teams fight heat, smoke, and the sea itself.
Miraculously, Yorktown's crew stabilizes her. Engines restart. She's back under power, still fighting.
Resume course 270.
Then, torpedoes. 2 from Japanese submarine I-168. 1 rips through her hull. Another sinks the destroyer Hammond alongside.
Abandoned but defiant, Yorktown drifts through the night. Her sacrifice not yet complete.
At dawn, salvage teams return. They board her, pump water, and dream of towing her home.
Keep holding, lads. Keep that pump going.
But the sea has other plans. On June 7th, at 5 a.m., Yorktown rolls over and slips beneath the waves.
For US, she is gone, but her impact is immortal. Because of Yorktown, the United States had the 3rd carrier that doomed Japan's strike force.
Japan lost its best pilots, its veteran crews, and its strategic initiative in one morning.
Before Midway, Japan was on the offensive. After Midway, it was on the defensive for the rest of the war.
Nimitz later said, "The Yorktown was the margin of victory. Without her, Midway might have been a disaster."
She gave us the edge.
Her 72-hour repair became legend, not for miracles, but for American grit, ingenuity, and refusal to quit.
We got this.
Keep welding!
She'll sail.
The Yorktown didn't win Midway alone, but without her, the U.S. Navy might have lost the Pacific War in 1942.
Her loss was mourned, but her legacy launched a new era, the age of the fast carrier task force.
The USS Yorktown, CV-10, her successor, would help sink the Yamato and bomb Tokyo. But CV-5 made it possible. For the 5. In 1998, oceanographer Robert Ballard found her, 20,000 feet down, upright, intact, as if on eternal patrol.
There she is.
Her guns still point skyward. Her flight deck faces the surface, waiting, perhaps, for the call that never comes.
She lies near her nemesis, Japanese carrier Kaga, both resting in the same silent cathedral of steel and sacrifice.
One ship, one battle, 1 week of repair. That's all it took to save the U.S. Navy and change world history.
In war, margins are thin. Sometimes victory hinges not on fleets, but on a single damaged ship. and the men who refused to let her die too soon.
In crisis, speed, courage, and teamwork can overcome impossible odds.
I remember.
Repairs. Her repair wasn't magic. It was 1,400 workers saying, "Not on my watch."
We did our part.
And her sailors? They knew they were sailing a wounded ship into hell, and they went anyway.
See you soon.
He never returned.
That's the real lesson of Midway. Victory belongs not to the flawless, but to the resilient.
The Yorktown proved that a ship is more than steel. She's the sum of her crew's will to fight.
Aye, sir.
In 1942, the Pacific hung by a thread. The Yorktown was that thread, and it held.
Without her, Guadalcanal might have failed. Without Guadalcanal, no island hopping. No Hiroshima. No victory.
History rarely turns on grand fleets. It turns on moments, like a welder's spark in a Pearl Harbor dry dock.
The U.S. Navy lost a ship at Midway, but because of her, it saved its future. CV-5, we remember.
Today, her bell hangs in the U.S. Naval Academy, ringing only on the anniversary of her loss.
In silence, she speaks. When your nation needs you, broken or not, show up.
The impact of a single damaged ship, it wasn't just saving the Navy. It was buying time for democracy to arm itself and win.
In the darkest hour of 1942, she was the light that refused to go out.
Places. And because she fought one more day, the free world kept its chance to fight back.
Heroes aren't always flawless. Sometimes they're just patched together and sent back into the storm.
The Yorktown's legacy isn't in museums. It's in every sailor who knows. One ship can change everything.
Make it count.
From her decks flew the planes that sank an empire's pride.
Bombs away!
In her hull beat the heart of a nation that refused to lose. Every turn of the shaft, every shudder of steel, carried that heartbeat across an ocean and into history.
She was damaged. She was rushed. She was imperfect. And she saved the world.
Remember the Yorktown, not for how she died, but for how she lived. One more day for victory.